Good afternoon. My name is Brian Carson, and I'm going to speak to you for a few minutes this afternoon about my Parkinson's and my exercise experience with Parkinson's. Next slide, please. I've had Parkinson's for just over 4 years now and was diagnosed at age 54, and probably like most of you, quite a devastating impact to life, but we'll have to deal with it. We'll deal with it in different ways, and hopefully what I'm going to say today will help somebody with that. I'll put a quick summary of what my symptoms, or some of my symptoms, are at the moment. Probably the biggest challenge from those symptoms is the insomnia. I like to lead an active lifestyle, but it can be really hard to get motivated when you've been up all night with no sleep and you feel rotten in the morning, no energy, no motivation. But I certainly set myself the task of exercising, if not every day, most days, and I just have to get over the challenge of the insomnia. And hopefully what I'm going to say today will help some of you with that. Next slide, please. So what are the benefits of exercise? Well, for me, I get lots of benefits: improved coordination, improved psychological well-being. As you all know, exercise releases endorphins, helps your mood, helps my focus, keeps me active, and my goal is to be as independent and active for as long as reasonably possible. I know sometimes it's difficult to get an accurate prognosis with Parkinson's, but the prognosis is we're all going to get slower and weaker as the disease progresses. But there's a lot of information out there that exercise can help to slow the progression, and I'm fully on board with that, which is why I lead such an active lifestyle in terms of exercise, and particularly Parkinson's focused exercise. Probably the main benefit, I'm sure most of you know what UPDRS is, Universal Parkinson's Disease Rating Scale, which is one of many scales used to measure the seriousness of motor symptoms in Parkinson's. And you can see there my score when I was diagnosed improved a bit once I started medication, but it's improved significantly once I started focused and various exercises. So between medication and exercise, you can see the real difference in terms of my movement scores, and that low score means the impact to my motor symptoms is quite minimal, most of the time subject to being on and off medication and things. Next slide, please. So what do I do for exercise? Well, there's quite a list here. I've got quite a varied exercise regime, which I understand can't be typical for everyone. I am fortunate in that I have retired early, partly due to my Parkinson's, partly due to home circumstances. But it gives me the time, and because I've got the time and I've got the motivation, I do a lot of exercise, probably between 10 and 15 hours a week. Couple of PD warrior type classes, a walk, cycle. I'm in the walking football pilot, which is going on at Torry Glen at the moment, having an absolute ball at that. It's great fun, and table tennis as well. I've recently taken up table tennis, which I'll come back to in a minute. But on the table tennis front, I did get hold of a medical test which says table tennis can help improve the symptoms of Parkinson's, particularly the coordination and reaction type effects. Next slide, please. And again, I know this is not typical, but this is a typical week for me, because I don't work. I've got lots of time to do exercise. I've got the motivation to do exercise, and I enjoy it. Probably 90% of the time. This time you don't feel like it. But one of the key factors for me is going to organised classes, because going to an organised class, it's happening at the same time on the same day every week. and it takes a lot of the self-management out of it, because as I'm sure you all know, trying to go to the gym on your own or out for a walk on your own, it's sometimes really hard to get motivated. But if the class is booked, it's happening a certain day at a certain time, then I'll turn up and do the class. And the other additional benefit, and it's a big benefit of doing the class type exercise, is the social element. Even on Zoom, two of the PD Warrior type classes I do on a Tuesday and Thursday are on Zoom. But after the class is finished, the instructor goes offline and leaves the Zoom open, and usually 10 or 12 of us will have a chat for 20 minutes and get that peer support, which I think is really important. And you'll get that from the group classes. One of the major benefits, or one of the biggest helps I've had in my Parkinson's experience is the peer support that I get from other people with Parkinson's through doing exercise with them, going to meetings with them, just generally socialising with them. And it's a great support. Next slide, please. I mentioned table tennis. In July, I started playing table tennis at Mossbone in Ayrshire, where the South Ayrshire Table Tennis Club have started a Parkinson's group coach session on a late Saturday mornings. So I went along there, started in July, was asked if I would like to go to the Parkinson's British Championships down at St Neots in August. Went down to the competition, got to the final in my classification and won a silver medal. Had an absolute fantastic day at St Neots, which is a purpose-built table tennis club down at Cambridge. Met some fantastic people. Everyone that was there, I think it was around 25 players. Everyone was so happy to be there, having a great time. And I even remember talking to one of the umpires after one of the matches and asking why he was smiling. And he says, I just can't believe what you guys are going through, but you're all here having a ball, getting exercise, having fun, meeting new people, and you're an inspiration to us all. So after that success, I got the opportunity to go and play in the Parkinson's World Table Tennis Championships in Berlin, and had a fantastic week in Berlin. Really well organised competition, lasted 4 days, and it was like being at the Olympics. We had an opening ceremony where the Scotland team were introduced and came in front of the crowd with all the other countries one at a time. They had a closing ceremony, they had a medal ceremony, an end of competition banquet, and it was just a superb week. Fantastic city, fantastic place, 140 competitors from over 20 countries, all with varying degrees of seriousness of their symptoms from Parkinson's, and similarly got to the singles quarterfinals and got to the semi-finals in the doubles and got a bronze medal for that. And this photograph is me with a gentleman called Christoph Freeberg from Cologne. He was my doubles partner. Christoph has had Parkinson's for 19 years. And you can probably see it at his side there, that's his walking frame. But he's played table tennis since he was 12 years old, loves the game, and just inspired me for 4 days of competition, and was so keen to win a medal. He was so determined to do well. It just inspired me. Get him to the end of the table tennis table with a table tennis bat in his hand, and the smile on his face is just inspiring. And I'm still in touch with him. I spoke to him on Sunday. We're in touch every week, and we're planning to play again together next year in the German Open in Bad Homburg, which is near Frankfurt. So that's our first target for next year. And all being well, we'll play together again in the World Championships, the Parkinson's Table Tennis World Championships in Croatia at the end of September. Next slide, please. So this is probably the view I had when I was diagnosed, because everybody well, me in particular, I didn't know anything about Parkinson's. You just had heard of it, thought it was an old person's disease that you think of slowness and a stoop and a shake. And in reality, I was only 54 when I was diagnosed. People have been diagnosed a lot younger nowadays. And it's not as bad as you think it would be. That picture's where I might end up in 15, 20, 25 years. But in my view, there's a lot in my power to slow down me getting there. And that's where exercise comes in. Because that's not how I want to live my life. Next slide, please. This is how I want to live my life and how I want to be seen. Fully on board with exercise. I get the benefits and understand the benefits, and I will pursue getting the benefits for as long as I'm active. As I said before, my goal is to be as active and independent for as long as reasonably possible. And remember, Parkinson's is life-changing, but it's not life-ending. Thank you.